Good morning and welcome to my RV at breakfast time. So this is the second time I'm doing this, and I know the first time I had some really bad buffering problems. So I'm trying this on my phone on the data, not on hotspot, and we'll see if it works out. But just give me 1 second because I can't read the comments on my phone. So I'm going to try to pull this up on my laptop. And that way, it's not just me talking to you, it's you guys also responding. So let me just get the comments going. I think this is going to work. Uh-oh, I can hear myself. I don't want to do that. Okay. I paused it on here, but I'm logged into my account. Are you guys still seeing this live on the camera? Welcome, the Wendes, welcome. Couch Surfer, good. You're right on time for breakfast. Good morning, Robert and Tag. Okay, all right, you guys are saying yes, it's live even though it's paused on my computer and I'm logged in. Okay, good. Vincent, bon appetit, dinner time. Welcome, welcome Josh. And, all right, so, there's it's, FYI, it's going to be hard to keep up with the comments, so welcome everybody. It's going so fast, so everybody who's hopping on, thank you for commenting, and thanks for joining me. Now, actually, tell me in the comments, how is the audio? Is that good too? How's the audio doing? Somebody say if the audio is fine or not. I'm just curious. I've never done this before, and I'm trying to talk loud. Okay, I think people are saying audio's great. Great! Okay, cool. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining me for breakfast, for my regular breakfast routine. It's as if you guys are just here in my RV with me, and then we can chat, and I got to make breakfast for the dogs and for myself. So, cool. All right, well, I'm going to start with getting the dog stuff going, actually. I'll get my tea going first. Most important. Coffee, yes, a lot of people are coffee drinkers. I don't have a coffee maker. I just, somehow I've gotten in the mood or mode of drinking tea. And I love my Earl Grey tea. So that is a morning thing. In fact, I remember doing a video years ago, like back in 2015 or something, where I was showing how I make my morning tea every morning. Welcome, Chan. Welcome, Stephen. Western Australia, awesome. So we've got Switzerland, we've got South or Western Australia. Let's see, Netherlands is here. That is really amazing, actually. That's pretty exciting. Thank you guys for joining. Get my tea going. Everybody's working from home. Is everybody doing okay? Do you know somebody who's gotten sick? Have you been sick? I hope that, I know it's probably likely, but I hope no one's lost jobs or anything. What a crazy thing to be happening. Welcome, Ian. And UK, welcome. So we've got several countries represented today. That's pretty exciting. Oh man, Lisa, I'm sorry to hear about it. That's really scary. Well, best of luck to her. Just doing your retired thing. So yeah, for some people it's not much of a difference. For me, it's not much of a difference. However, remember in a few videos back, I was telling you guys that I was hoping to get a camp host job and move my RV out there, and I would do part-time camp hosting out there. Well, I did the interview and I passed the background check, and then like days later this happened and they're like, it's all on pause. So I just missed it by days. That would have been really nice. But anyway, here I am out here at the same RV park. But I do love it out here because there's it's way rural. So I love walking. There's this one country road and cows on each side of the field and stuff like that. So, wailing with the wind is, I hear ya. I'm an introvert as well. Same old for me, especially working from home. Robert, I'm in Texas. I'm in North Texas right now. Yeah, rural life is really nice. However, I can still hear the planes landing out here. So it's close enough to Dallas. It's probably, I think it's like an hour drive to Dallas, but really it's on the outskirts. So in 10 minutes, I would be in not rural, you know, so, but you know, the DFW area is just this massive metropolitan area. Anthony, our campground's fully open in Texas. This one is taking new people, not very often it seems, but they're not closed. But all the ones that are state or city or what do you call that? Somebody tell me, what do you call it with the, I can't even think of the acronym. I can't even, it's escaping my mind. But any ones that are federally, city or county or all that funded, those are not open. So, no, not BLM, that's another one. I was trying to think of Army Corps of Engineers, ACE, Army Corps of Engineers, that's what I was thinking, ACE. Those ones are closed. But the private ones, they'll, like this one here, they're open, but you have to call to tell them you need to go to the office. Like I paid rent yesterday, and I had to say, can I come in 15 minutes? And then they went over there, and I went over there too. So they're not at their office. They're saying you have to call to make a reservation. So everything's really slimming down. And I saw San Francisco is even more severely shutting down, I think. I'm not following it. I'm not following it as much as you might be. Weestrom, the flip, it's going well. It's going slow. You know, I do other stuff part-time, so it's so we're only working on it part-time. Does Jean-Luc Picard drink Earl Grey? Does he put honey and half and half in it? That's pretty funny. Yeah, everybody's shut down. Not true, Amanda. It's called morning time. Alright, let's see. Yeah, remodels and flips always take time. That's true. I knew it would take longer than expected, and I knew it would be more work than expected, and it's just a lot of work. So I am enjoying the process of watching it unfold. And even, believe it or not, I am enjoying the physical work, but sometimes it's really taxing. Like yesterday, I came home after scraping the popcorn off ceilings, and then also using the leaf blower blew out all the leaves in the whole front. It took, let's see, I think 5 or 6 were picked up with trash, and then I still did 5.5 bags after that. I was so tired when I got home. But it does feel, I enjoy physical work. I think it's good to do physical work because then you'll be able to continue to do physical work. You know, some people, like I've seen stories of this woman was like 90 something and she was still living at home, you know, milking cows and stuff. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing to stay really physically active. But my satisfaction would go up a lot more if we worked faster, but it's just not possible. So, I mean, that's just the nature of it. When you build a website, the satisfaction is much faster because you're seeing those changes. But with a house, it takes longer, right? Oh, Donald, yeah, you know, thanks to your son for doing the first responder work, and, you know, thanks to everybody who's out there completely exposing themselves and, you know, helping other people out. That's really amazing. Wendez, would I do another flip? I think what I would do is rentals, because there's less work. With a flip, you really need to like overhaul everything, whereas a rental, you don't have to scrape the popcorn off the ceilings. So I think that's what I would do. Welcome, Todd. Yes, thanks to the truckers, all the people still working in all of this craziness. Oh, did you guys see something cool happened in the UK? Like a few nights ago or something, at 8 p.m., they said everybody go out and clap for all the health services workers. And I guess some people were like, oh, I don't think no one's gonna do that, but they did. So there was a video, and you can see like all these different spots around the UK. People come out of their doors and they're standing like, you know, on the street or on their patio or wherever, and clapping. It was really amazing. So that was pretty cool to watch. Definitely check that out if you haven't seen that. Absolutely, Michael. Anyone that is still working for us is much loved and appreciated. Absolutely. Grocery store workers, they probably have it the worst. I mean, they have people, tons of people in their lines, and probably frustrated, and they have to deal with it more and, you know, expose themselves if people are coughing or, you know. Oh, they've been doing that clapping thing in New York, I guess. Well, Amy, good luck with your daughter. I hope she's fine and everything works out. Thanks to her for still working. Oh, couch surfer, yes. Do I think about flipping RVs? Yes, because that is more of a manageable thing. It's a smaller project than a house. So absolutely I've thought of that. I just love doing the renovations and the maintenance. I don't think I would do it for an RV with an engine, because there might be some major, well, maybe I would. There might be some major problems with the engine, and, you know, I can do some stuff, but I'm not, like, super knowledgeable on that. But yeah, like trailers and stuff, I would love to do that. Yeah, so Daniel, he says, gives him being stuck at home gives him time to work on projects he hasn't done. So true. You know, well, let's put this on. I think there's some huge upsides to this. Okay, warm that up for the dogs. There's huge upsides. One, people's families are together more often. You know, I bet there's thousands of families that don't get to spend much time together, and they do now. They're probably like, you know, clawing at each other's throats at this point, but at least they're having these, you know, bonding moments and stuff. And good morning, KJ. And the other is, like you said, no, I can't remember who said it, Daniel, is you get time to work on projects that you haven't had time to do. And then, furthermore, the other huge benefit is I've been seeing all these pictures of pollution-free areas that were once cloudy and gray with pollution. And I posted on my Facebook page probably about a week or so ago of the clear canal waters in Venice, and that swans and dolphins are returning. So that's amazing. Oh, I posted another one last night in India. Excuse me. My annoying thing, even if I open the door, it beeps 3 times. So in India, hold on, let me get the dog's bowls. In India, because the beaches are closed, they have, there's more safety for the sea turtles to be laying their eggs. So they're estimating there's going to be like 60 million sea turtle eggs, which is a great thing, because I think there's such a small percentage. When I was in college, I took an oceanography, not like a main course, but what do you call those side ones, you know? And we went down to Mexico, because I was in Arizona. And anyway, we learned about the sea turtles, and like a lot of them don't make it. Many they don't even make it to the ocean because of birds and stuff. So with the beaches being closed, hopefully the sea turtle population might increase. They have a hard time, you know, there's only a very small percentage that usually make it, and then make it back in 1 year to have eggs again. So anyway, thank you, Josh. Anyway, there are some really amazing things coming out of this. People sharing and opening up and being kinder to their neighbors and all sorts of stuff. So let me put the dog stuff. JC, come get Din Din. All right, let's check. I haven't read this. $1.50 diesel in Tucson. Okay, here I saw it was $2.09, which is a pretty good price for here too. Oh, not until June. I know. Everybody keeps extending it like 2 or 3 weeks, and I kind of have a hard time believing that. True, traveler. Plenty of predators in the ocean, but if more can get out there, then the better. Oh, in fact, I remember some statistic. I haven't even had a sip of my tea yet. I remember some statistic. It was some octopus, right? An octopus, maybe a large one, I don't know what species, has like 10,000 eggs. And most of them will be eaten up in like the first few days, and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 will survive. So yeah, that octopus species has to have like 10,000 babies for one to survive. Hello, Ron. Welcome. Welcome, MTY. Wow, $1.10 for diesel in British Columbia? Holy smokes, what's gas? What are you guys seeing for regular gas? Yeah, 0.01 survived to breed. Wow. The stories on my Facebook page were a little weird. I woke up in the middle of the night. I don't know if I posted anything then. You know when you wake up and then you can't sleep again? It was like late in the 3 o'clock, early 4 o'clock time. And I was thinking, should I get up or will I be extremely tired? Oh my goodness, 99 cents in Minnesota. 97 cents. Oh my goodness. I remember when I was in high school, you wouldn't see regular gas for less than $1. And out where I lived, kind of rurally, there was a small town, but there was 3 gas stations because it was right on the highway. There was 3 gas stations. And of course they would always compete. And Arco was one. You know, Arco, if you know, it's always kind of the cheaper one. And you could tell some sort of price war was going on, and because they kept lowering it. But then finally, Arco put out a sign, you know, like a hand-printed sign on the road, and it said, "Price war, 99 cents a gallon." And look, now it's, who would have thought that it would be back to 99 cents? Wow. Good morning, Lady T. All right, I'm dilly-dallying. Let me get today I'm having tater tots with my hard-boiled egg. I need to go to the grocery store. I'm craving. So I would normally, I'm in the habit, lately everything's gone, but before that I'm in the habit of having English muffins, and then I toast them up and put butter on them. I'm craving having something to, you know, put butter on. So I need to go to the store. I need more water. I get distilled water, so I'm out of that. Alright. Don't be a tater. I love, Michael, potatoes are probably my favorite food because they're so versatile. You can mash them, you can fry them, you can boil them, you know, they can be creamy, they can be salty, you can make potato pancakes, you can make hash browns. I mean, potatoes are my favorite food, I'd say. 2 blueberry muffins. Oh, yum, with butter on them. That sounds good. Of course, if I just eat, I have to eat something with protein. If I just eat bread kind of stuff, I'm really hungry in like an hour and a half. Ah, okay, yep. Irish love their potatoes. Good morning, Mystery. Indeed, I grew up next to potato country, Idaho. Kind of, I mean, yeah, the state was next to it, but it was still hours away. Another penny countertop, not in my RV. I very much like these countertops, but I did enjoy doing that. That would be like a great outdoor table or something like that. Hello, KCJ. For those of you guys coming in, welcome, and welcome to my RV breakfast time. I just fed the dogs, and I'm making my breakfast right now and chatting with you guys. I've got my laptop here. That's where I'm seeing the comments. So if I'm looking over here, it's because I'm kind of joining you guys, even though I'm not looking at the camera. house is coming along, and just did a bunch of outdoor yard stuff this past few days. We took down a tree. Remember the last video, the last breakfast at Pippenings, I was talking about doing the tree that day. We took that tree down, and yesterday I did like 11 huge bags of leaves from the yard. So that was nice to get that out. Hello, Rick. Good morning, Sircon. The laptop? Oh, I don't know how old it is. I bought it used. It might be like 2016 or something. Eric, this is my Righty Row shirt. This was my first shirt. So, this was my first channel merchandise. And I bought these shirts blank, empty, plain or whatever. I had them shipped to my RV, and then I did this design. I designed this. This is the after Ria Rada, my original RV that I was in first, and then I did this design, and then I took all of the empty shirts and I got them printed at the local print shop, and then I mailed them out for several years. And now you can, and then I sold out after, so long, but now you can actually buy them on Teespring. So if you guys are interested in my Righty Row, let's go shirt, you can order them on Teespring. And now, because when I sold them, I only bought so many of all the sizes, and I only got so many done, and they were all in the same color. But you can now get them. Teespring's this company, they print shirts for you, and they sell them, they ship them for you. So it costs a little more because they take half the profit, but anyway, it comes in all sorts of colors, long sleeves, hoodies, and I think you can even, I have to select the products, but you can even get them on like mugs. I think I have the Righty Row on the mugs and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, this is my original Righty Row. Let's go, because I would say that on the videos. So anyway, and then there's the that's Ria Rada, and then there's that. This arrow is part of my logo, and that's the same arrow that is on road signs. So like the exit signs, those have that same arrow. So anyway, that's what this is. These are the Righty Row shirts. So you can now get them if you'd like, and I appreciate if you do, on Teespring. And they come up underneath the videos. There's like a link, with a bunch of different t-shirts. There's other styles now, but if you click any of those, you can find the Righty Row ones. So. Oh, yes, it's an arrow behind. It's not, I mean, you can kind of see it. It's alright if you don't. Yeah, I never saw the arrow before. Isn't that funny? Yeah, that's what that is. It's the arrow behind it. Hello, Farid. Let's see. Oh, Michael, did you win one of the Righty Row shirts? Did I do a thing like that? Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to understand that. It's kind of like a FedEx arrow, but it's not. The FedEx arrow is one, it's sideways, and it's more sharp. Tater tots in the frying pan. Oh yeah, well, where would you cook them? In the stove or something? I don't like turning on my stove. It just heats the RV up too much. Hey Dean, welcome. How's living in the state of Texas. It's great. I'm enjoying the weather is fairer than other places. It's not as hot, it's not as cold. However, there's tornadoes. Actually, I have a snapshot on my radar app, a snapshot of my phone screen. I was watching the radar this one night, and there was no tornado warning, but it was the severe weather. Severe weather means usually that there's going to be all these little dots of radar, and small dots, but they might have red in the middle, and just a lot. And it's those little things that turn into tornadoes. And I watched one. It was like midnight. I don't usually stay up to midnight, but I did because I was watching this dot, and it was like a bigger one, and then it began to have that hook out front. And when you see the dot with the hook out front, in the front meaning the direction it's traveling, that's when the tornadoes come off of it. So I was taking these snapshots, and I have one right past me as it begins to make a pretty sharp hook. So that's the only downside of Texas. But I'm excited. I'm seeing all the wildflowers starting here, and you know, it's different than other locations that I've lived, so I really enjoy that. Yeah, tornado life isn't for everybody. Lady T, do I ever come to California? Yes, I used to live in California. I've lived all up and down the West Coast. I've lived in California 4 times. I've lived down in LA once, San Diego twice, and Arcata up north by Eureka on the beach. Yeah, I need to see the Texas bluebonnets. Those are oh, now I'm losing it. Let's see. By the way, I was in forestry for a while, and I worked for an ecological restoration institute, and we would go out into the field and collect data and all that stuff. And some of the projects we would be tasked with reporting the different substrates and, you know, smaller, not just the trees, but also the smaller plants. And oh yes, Lupin. Let's see. It's Lupin. Yeah, so those bluebonnets are a type of Lupin. I think that's the genus. I don't know what the species is, and they're from the pea family. So anyway, yes, I have been places to see the bluebonnets, and I was warned to watch out when you're walking through the bluebonnets. The rattlesnakes like to hang out in its shade. So be careful if you're out taking photos in bluebonnets. There could be snakes out there. In fact, when I was raking up and blowing all those leaves yesterday, I came across 3 snakes. All very small, no rattlesnakes. One was pink. It was about this long and like maybe a centimeter thick. And that was the biggest one. But then there was like some baby ones. I don't know what they were. Yeah, I've been down to the hill country. I very much love that part of Texas with all the hills and stuff like that. Yeah, so you know what's funny, Weestrom, Colorado guy, and so he says it's hard to like Texas when you've been to places like Colorado. So I grew up in Oregon, which its landscape could rival Colorado, and the weather sure couldn't, but the landscape and geographical features absolutely could. And Oregon has tall trees, a lot of evergreens and coniferous trees. And I don't like tall trees now. I don't know if it's because I grew up there. Excuse me. I don't know if it's because I grew up in a bunch of tall trees, or if it's just my way of being that I like to be able to see really far. It makes me feel good, you know. If it's tall trees around, I just feel super claustrophobic. So when people say like, "Oh, you don't live in Oregon again," or you know, you don't move back, as much as I wish I could, because I'd love to live near my family, I don't like tall trees. So I love these flat areas. I love it hot, which is totally opposite of Oregon. I love it dry, and I love it completely open. So isn't that funny that some people, even though it's more beautiful in some of these parts, it's not for me, you know. What do I think about Tennessee? Oh, I loved Tennessee when I was there. I really loved, so I was in the east part of Tennessee most, at the base of the Smoky Mountains, and I loved it there. Tall trees, but it's different enough from Oregon that, you know, I was like, oh, you know, this is a place where I could live. And then I didn't spend too much time in West Tennessee. Let's see, I've been to Memphis a few times probably. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, Memphis is west. Or, yeah, west. I liked it there too. It's a very different feeling. It's, what's exciting about the East Coast to me is it's totally different from the West Coast. So anything that seems a little different. And Texas borders on that, right? Especially Dallas. And I've talked about that before. Fort Worth, Dallas being kind of one city, but one's really West Coast feeling, one's East Coast feeling. So I kind of like the different feeling. Have I been to the Texas beaches? No. But I totally want to go, because I have been to the Panhandle of Florida and Alabama. Those beaches, beautiful. So I'd like to go. I know, you know, it's just the curve of the beach wrapping around, but anyway. The Greyhound Queen. I could be the Greyhound Queen, sure. Isn't that funny? People, TR says people in Fort Worth are 10 times friendlier than Dallas. So, oh, there's another saying. It's, okay, I'm sure somebody's going to correct me. It's in Fort Worth, it's something like, in Fort Worth, they wear cowboy hats or boots. They wear the cowboy boots for work, but in Dallas, they wear the cowboy boots for fashion, or something like that. I know somebody's going to correct that. I like the Midwest too. I really liked Minnesota, and then I was in Minnesota longer than Wisconsin, and I never made it to Michigan, but I'd like to check, especially the North Peninsula. But I really liked Minnesota. It's a lot like Oregon, actually. In the summer, I was there in late summer, early fall. George, I haven't been to Michigan yet, but I want to go, especially to the, what is it called? UP, Upper Peninsula. Chris, not sold the house yet. We're still working on it. I forget that I'm actually making breakfast here. My favorite seasoning, Cavender's. It's a Greek seasoning. Check that out. Do you guys use this? I love it. It's like the perfect mix of seasonings. Hello from Georgia, Europe. Cool. Welcome, John. You know, it's funny. I had a dream once that I was in the Georgia, the country, And I don't know where that came from. I'd never been there, but it was very interesting. Vermont. I don't think I've been to Vermont. No, I have not been to Vermont. Who said that? Noreen. Yeah. Welcome, Noreen. Good morning. Hey, Michael Wilbanks. Chase is doing great. Black Hills are gorgeous. Yes, I've been to the Black Hills in South Dakota. Yes, you guys, everybody who's coming in now, like Jim, you said you just got here. You haven't missed it because I've been chatting too much. I've almost forgot. The dogs have eaten. I fed them, but I've got my food going still. Upstate New York. Very cool. Globe, Arizona. Nice. I've been out there a bunch, of course, because I used to live in Apache Junction. Northeast New England. I have not been to Northeast New England unless you consider, I've been to Boston, I've been to New York City, and I've been to New Jersey. Is that Northeast? Is that Northeast New England? If it's not, I haven't been up there. You probably mean like Maine and New Hampshire and stuff like that, I'm guessing. I have been to Pueblo, Colorado. I have a video on that. Actually, I've got a video on a lot of these places. Yeah, Boston is New England. What was the seasoning again, Lisa? It's called Cavender's. It's a Greek seasoning. Here, check it out. Cavender's. It's got that little guy on it, and it's yellow. They make one that's kind of, I think, red or pink, and that one's spicier, but this one's really good, the yellow one. So, check that out. No, I have not been to Tuttle, Oklahoma. Good morning, Ed in Montana and Matt in Atlanta. Yeah, I have not been up to Maine or New Hampshire or those states up there. My cousin lives up there. I was wanting to go up there to visit her because she just had 2 babies a couple years ago. But that's a long way. It's kind of like when you go to the corners, okay, especially, actually probably more so, Florida. It's a long way to get down there, and then also like Maine, that's a long way to get way up there. I mean, even Oregon, it's like so far out of the way, but it just depends on where you're at, you know. Kay asked about, have I used Diatomaceous Earth as a flea repellent, and I did try that before. I tried that in California once when I was living there, and I would also, I can't remember where I was, but I have used that numerous times. So what Diatomaceous Earth is basically, I guess like fossils or something. Is like old bones chopped up, so it's very sharp. And these insects, they have an exoskeleton. When they walk through it, so the diatomaceous earth is like powder, but it's fine, sharp stuff. Sharp if you have an exoskeleton, and when they walk through it, it gets stuck in their exoskeleton hinges and whatnot, joints, and then they don't like it. So if you have a problem with ants or fleas, Pearl's down here looking. So you guys are on the phone right now, and it's on a tripod, and then there's a cable plugged into the phone to charge the phone. Pearl's freaking out at this tall thing in the walkway. Anyway, the diatomaceous earth, if you sprinkle it like around your tires, your RV tires, or anything that touches the ground, ants and other exoskeleton insects are deterred if they try to walk up your wheel. You don't want insects walking up your wheels or your your cables and stuff. So I have used it for that. Yeah, you can also put it on dogs. So I think I put it on Andiamo. You know, it's funny. Let's see. So let's see, 15, 17, 19. So for 19 years now, I've had dogs, and only twice have I ever had them have fleas. One was on Diamo. We were living in San Diego, and I think it was just that house, that yard had it. And then the other time was Chase in eastern Tennessee. He got fleas. It was before I had Pearl. And those are the only two times that I've had flea problems. So I guess I'm lucky. Cosmo, yes, this is an RV. This is a fifth wheel. So it's a nice one, isn't it? It's so big because, can you see this like frame here, like here, and then it even goes over. You can't see the other side. That's a slide out, so it comes in, and then there's one behind where the phone's sitting, and that's another one that comes in. So right now, this space is, I don't know how long this is, like 12 feet, 10 feet. It's it's wide because of slides. John, are we working on a time frame? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, there's a time crunch, but at the same time, the only expenses, because he bought it with cash, so the only expense is property taxes and utilities. So in that sense, yes, there's expenditure every month, which will come out of any, final profit. But at the same time, it's not as big as, if there was a mortgage on it. Who threw poo? I saw that video. It was like I saw that video you're talking about. This lady, she took a thong and put it over her mouth. So it was like this, and then the thong went over her head. She hooked it over her ears. And it was funny, her husband had one, and then they turned to the grandma, her mom, and the grandma's just sitting there with like baggy underwear on her head. I think you're probably talking about that video, but yeah. Welcome from Toronto, Canada. Thank you guys for joining. Anybody who's jumping in now, thank you for joining, and welcome to my RV at breakfast time. I hear you, Michael Sullivan. Yeah, Traveler X, he says, fifth wheel is the best RV option in case of a major engine trans failure. Dually pickup is cheaper than a diesel pusher. That is why I first had a Class A, an old one, and I was driving it around, and I was like, I was driving that, and then I was towing my car. So I had two engines, and I thought, wow, wouldn't it be nice to have one engine? Because all the maintenance and costs and all associated with that. So I was eyeing those fifth wheels for quite some time. In fact, years before I even hit the road, neighbors of mine, I went over to their toy hauler, which is a fifth wheel, but the back opens up and it's like a little garage. You can put motorcycles and stuff back there. So I went over to theirs. They had 43 feet or something like that. And I couldn't, and their ceilings were like this, I don't know, what is that, 8 feet? I'm not sure how tall it is, but their ceilings were super tall, and they had all this space, and, a stairway up to the bathroom, and their tub was in the floor, in windows and lighting and all these different things. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. That was my first experience going in a fifth wheel / toy hauler, and I was like, they're living a different life than me. And I suddenly realized how smaller my lifestyle was compared to theirs and their fifth wheel. And I knew that when I sold my Class A, I was like, I'm getting slides, because when I got my RV, I didn't know there was slides or any of this sort of stuff. So the only thing about having a fifth wheel versus an RV is if you don't have a truck, then you got to learn about trucks. No big deal, but it can be, for me, it was a little daunting to learn what's a 1 ton, what's 3/4 ton, why do they have that, what's one that's not a heavy duty, all this stuff. So unless you have somebody just park it somewhere for you and live in it, you have to learn about trucks and then get a truck. And by the time I was ready to sell my RV and my Camry, Toyota Camry that I pulled, I was like, I was ready. Get rid of that, bring in the truck and the fifth wheel situation. So for me, I'm super happy with that. At this point where I'm now parked mostly, it is inconvenient to drive my big dually everywhere, like to the grocery store. So that's a situation to consider as well. Whereas if you have a Class A towing something, then you just drive your smaller vehicle around. But Ed, for breakfast, we have, and here I am, this is taking forever because I'm not paying attention. I don't tend to be a very chatty person, but I have to be because I can only, because you guys don't talk back, I just have to read back. Anyway, Ed, but I think I'm doing a good job talking enough. For breakfast, we have a hard-boiled egg, and this one's very tiny. I might get another one. And these are the ones I boiled on the last video, so I've got one more after this. Hard-boiled egg, my favorite creamy Earl Grey tea, and tater tots. So I was just complaining a little bit earlier. I used to eat English muffins. I would toast one up and put butter and jam on that. And I'm out. I've been out for quite a while because I haven't been to the grocery store. And I'm craving something to, put butter on that melts. So, some of these things, it's hard to keep up with some of the conversations that are going. Somebody asked about CDL. Yes, Breakfast of Champions, HH. I always need to have protein, otherwise I'm hungry too soon. I can't eat just like bread or something like that. Yeah, you guys are yakking up a storm. I'm trying to keep up with you. See, some of these I missed comments and I don't know what they're referring to, like 30 years ago. I don't know what that means. Anyway, I was saying something and I got off track. Sorry about that. The egg I'm peeling is coming apart in like a million little pieces. I was saying on the last video, because I was also peeling an egg and getting a lot of pieces, my mom used to have a little diner, and so she knew, of course, it was a lot of breakfast foods. So she's like, if you want to make the perfect boiled egg, she's like, do this and this. And what she said was, put the eggs in the water, in the cold water, and then let it boil, and then set the alarm for 8 minutes. And now I can't remember if she said 8 or 3, and she doesn't remember at this point either. But when you cook on a propane stove or in a propane oven, it's always hotter. It's never the same. So if you have an RV, you probably have a propane stove, and it's harder to get your food to cook right, especially in the oven. Brown eggs, are they better for you? I don't think so. I think they're kind of all the same. Okay, B Van Life says, what about hooking up between Class A or fifth wheel? Okay, it is easier and less hazard potential to just drive your car, and hook that up to the back of your RV. But when you're going on and off those ramps, you can actually damage your car. And in fact, I think that pulling my Camry behind the RV for so long, I think it's somehow damaged something in the front driving, whatever. It's not supposed to. They say it's totally fine and safe, but I think it did. So if you have like a really nice car, I'm not sure I would put it on a tow dolly. But here's the thing. So you have a couple different things that go behind an RV. You have a tow dolly, which is 2 front wheels up on the tow dolly. And then you have one where it's fully up, that's a flatbed. And then there's the option of pulling it on the ground. And I forget what that's called. But only certain vehicles, like Honda CRV, before 2014, those can be flat towed behind an RV. All of your trucks, those can be pulled behind flat on the ground. And then very limited other ones. You have to be very careful. You cannot just pull anything behind a RV with the wheels on the ground. So then your option is to either go, to go with some device, right? A tow dolly or a flatbed trailer. And the tow dolly, the downsides for that is you cannot back up. You can't back up because even if it's in neutral, for some reason you cannot back up. Maybe it's the transmission or something. You can slightly, like I would pull into a gas station, and sometimes I'd be just past and I'll be like, darn it, I don't want to take my 34-foot motorhome and car circle around again, because it's, it's hard to navigate with other cars zipping in and out. And so if you just roll back very slowly a little bit, you can do that. But you can't back up for 2 reasons with a tow dolly. One is for the non-compatibility with the transmission or whatever on most vehicles. But also you can't do it because there are multiple pivot points. So imagine backing up a trailer, right? How sometimes that can be kind of difficult to, get those things going in the right way. Imagine adding in another pivot point, and then it's just a mess. You just can't back that up. So the other option then is a flatbed, and then the trailer, the downside for that is it's just larger. The trailer part's larger. The tow dolly, you can unhook and you can haul it yourself and put it next to your RV, or put it under the back of your RV to kind of keep it from being accessible to other people. But the flatbed you can't. So anyway, those are the but the flatbed is nice because your vehicle on it is going to be definitely safe, and you can back up, and it's only one pivot point. So anyway, that's the difference between, you know, towing and the different options behind an RV. As far as oh yeah, somebody says the straps come off on the tow dolly. No, not good. You need to once you put the straps on the wheels on your tow dolly, you need to drive like to the parking lot, to the edge of the parking lot or whatever, and then redo them, because your car will move a little bit. Once you've moved your RV and let that car settle or, you know, move, tighten it again, and then always check those straps. So that compared to hooking up the fifth wheel is, the fifth wheel is, obviously there's, you know, there could be more dangers, right? Like where the fifth wheel sits on the thing, it doesn't sit, it actually slides in and then it sits on it. Then when that goes in, there's a clamp. And now if that clamp doesn't close, which is possible, it's just possible, it doesn't close, when you drive, those pins aren't holding your thing in there, and your trailer can slide off and squish your truck. And I know somebody, I think it's Handy Bob, says there's only two kinds of fifth wheel owners: the kinds that haven't that have smashed their truck, and the kinds that haven't yet smashed their truck. And I'm on a mission to prove him wrong, because there's also the kind that will never smash their truck. And I want to be that kind. But, and then imagine that. I mean, that's just incredibly dangerous, having a you know, 14,000-pound trailer on the loose. So there's precautions to take. And I did a video on the very precise steps of hooking up my fifth wheel. So definitely check that out. It goes through everything. And I made a print-outable list that's on my website. So that video in the description will have the link to print out that list of all the steps I take. I have lists. I have 4 lists. I have an indoor and an outdoor for leaving, and then an indoor and an outdoor for arriving. So I use those every time. Now I know it really well. But I'll still reference them. But I kind of have, if I did a different fifth wheel, I would actually reference those again. Here, my mind just kind of knows. But I imagine if it looked different inside, I might skip some steps. So Jason says he doesn't like slides. You'll have problems with them eventually. Well, that's probably likely. If you're traveling on the road, like constantly just on the go, maybe no slides is better, or just one, because they do have problems. They shift, and then they don't seal fully. Also, you can see the video I did on, I'm totally not making my breakfast, which I'm supposed to be doing. I did a video on how to replace the motor in a Schwintek slide. And Schwintek is just the name of this one kind of mechanism. There are many mechanisms of slides. And Schwintek, they've got motors, it's run by motors. And I did a video on how to replace those. So definitely, if you have to replace the motor in your Schwintek, check out that video, because you'll see what I did wrong and what I wish I did, or what I learned when I did it. And hopefully you'll be able to do it a little more efficiently than I did. But all right, let's get rid of the spamming content. By the way, I can delete comments and stuff. Alright, that guy's been put in timeout. So, yeah, I saw that too. It's hard to read the comments when it's like that. And YouTube helps because anybody who's being inappropriate, they flag and they don't show those comments. So, Wendy says, how did I get to be so very handy? You know what, Wendy? It's by owning an RV. I didn't know any of this before I started. My first project was when I just bought a Rio Rada, my Class A 1992 Bounder. Let's see, there was a leak in the hot water heater. And I have to give kudos to that RV tech out there. And I don't know his name, but he was at the Camping World in Wilsonville, Oregon. He said, he goes, excuse me, because I brought it in and I was like, oh, what's it gonna cost, you know? And he goes, you can do this if you want. He goes, just put on your dirty clothes and go out there on a Sunday and you can do this. And you know what? Thanks to that guy, if anybody knows any of the techs, it's one particular one, I don't know his name, and it would have been in 2013 at Camping World in Wilson, or is it Woodburn or Wilson? No, it's in Wilsonville, Oregon. He is probably he's probably the catalyst to the beginning of my YouTube channel. So anyway, definitely that guy, wherever he is, has had a little bit of help in the inspiration for what's now become this YouTube channel. So anyway, okay, so Wendy, I think you were asking, how did I get so handy? It's because I have an RV and I just had to make these repairs, and I was so darn stubborn I wasn't going to pay somebody else to do it. So that's how I would just do it myself. I wanted to know everything. I didn't want to have to rely on anybody, and I didn't want to pay for anything like that. So that's how it happened, by learning on the go. When a problem happens, I take care of that problem. I research it. I ask neighbors, friends, and I've learned so much from you guys, from comments you guys give back. I've learned so much. And I'm just so appreciative of always running into the right people, having the right neighbors, the right friends, the right information comes, So it's amazing how if you just kind of trust, like if you're scared to buy your RV because you don't know how to do this stuff, just relax, trust that the right stuff will happen when it does, the right information will come. And that's kind of what I've learned from all of this. So you can do it too. Go get on your dirty clothes and go out there on one Sunday, just like that guy said. So, all right. Well, you guys, I don't know how long I've been on here live. I probably should shut it down because this has been the longest breakfast period. And I've got to get to the house today and do some work over there too. So thank you. Thank you guys for joining me and for commenting. And this is really fun for me. I love chatting with you guys and hearing from you guys and all that. So thank you for joining me for breakfast. If you guys like this format, I think I'll continue doing it. And it's got a nice ring, Breakfast at Pippenings. So I was kind of worried, oh, maybe it would be boring or something. But it's easier. It's pretty easy for me because I don't have to edit it or anything like that. So anyway, thank you. Thank you all for everything, for coming along on this journey with me. And whether you're new to the channel or not, thank you for the positive feedback, for the comments, for support, moral support, anybody who's doing financial support, appreciate it all. Thank you guys for being there. and stay safe, stay at home until we're ready to go out, and I'll see you guys very soon. Now I don't know how to turn this off. How the heck? Oh, here. Okay, maybe this arrow or this X.